What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video on Forever Flame Racing Reviews. Today I'll be doing my 2025 IndyCar season predictions, and obviously I would have loved to do this with all 27 seats being confirmed, but we're a month away from the season. I thought this would be a perfect time to do my predictions. As we know, 26 of the 27 IndyCar seats are filled. We're only waiting on the final Dale Coyne seat. So I was planning on doing this video by ranking 27 through 1st in the championship, but just because we don't have that Dale Coyne seat filled, I'm just going to do the top 15 in the championship with a bunch of other spitball predictions. But who do I think will get that Dale Coyne seat? As we know, it will be the number 18 because the 51 was confirmed as Jacob Abel, and we can only assume that it'll be the 18. I really doubt Dale would change that. And I think it's going to be Rinus VeeKay that gets that seat. I really don't see anyone else getting that seat. As we know, he was out there with them at the test in thermal, so it makes sense. And he also tested with them, I believe it was October, or was it maybe even September, that they did that Indy 500 test. Like, each team got to run one car and one driver to test the hybrid system out at Indy, and he was their driver that was picked for that. I don't know what month is it, September, October, but I just know that he was their driver, so that does make a lot of sense for Rinus VeeKay to get that seat. We're going to also say that there's going to be 10 race winners out of a 17-race season. I think it's going to be a very competitive year in IndyCar, and out of those 10 winners, I say there will be 4 teams that win, those 4 teams being Andretti, McLaren, Penske, and Ganassi, with possibly AJ Foyt. So we'll say, well, you know what? Screw it. We'll say 5 teams win a race. We'll throw AJ Foyt in there with those other 4 teams that I named that will win a race. We're going to say the Indy 500 is going to start on time with no rain this year, and it's going to be a fabulous race. We're also going to say that there's going to be no rain races this year that get rain delayed, and we're going to say that there's going to be no seat swapping between drivers throughout the year. The 27 guys are all going to stay the same for all 17 races. There'll be no sickness, no injury, and no switching. And without further ado, we're going to now do my 15 through 1st in the championship because Dale Coyne can't announce Rinus VeeKay at Dale Coyne, where he can't do 27, we can only do 15. I will say, after this, I'll spitball a few more predictions, and I'll end it with the Indy 500 winner. So on 15th, I have Nolan Siegel for McLaren. Unfortunately, I just don't see him improving too much more. I think he's a lot of talent. I think he's very, very young. And I think this is also another learning year for him. I think he's very young and needs to learn a lot. And 14th, I have Felix Rosenqvist. Now, I do know Meyer Shank has partnered with Ganassi, but I don't know how much that's going to help Meyer Shank. I think you're going to see him be a very good qualifier, but I'm just not sure about that racecraft that Felix has. It's been his weakness his whole career. I think it's going to plague him in 25. I think that's going to be the thing that plagues his career, probably for his whole IndyCar career, honestly, is that race pace. And 13th, I have Alexander Rossi. I think this would be the first time. I think this would be the first time in his IndyCar career where he's not in the top 10 in the championship. I just don't think Ed Carpenter's going to quite give him the car to get top 10 in the championship. But still, 13th, and Ed Carpenter car's pretty good. I think this will be one of his best IndyCar seasons he's had to date. It's just I don't know if he's going to quite have the car to get him the results that he's worthy of. But it's kind of just what I'm thinking. In 12th, I've gone with Santino Ferrucci, the AJ Foyt driver. So, last year he finished 9th in the championship. I think it's going to be a little hard to get back in the top 10 again in the championship this year. But you never know. I think Santino is going to continue his consistency in his ovals, and I think he could very well get an oval win this year. I just don't know if they're going to be as fast as they were last year. In 11th, I have David Malukas, the other AJ Foyt driver. I think he's going to be slightly better than Santino Ferrucci, and I think if he performs well enough, he could very well be in a Penske car come 2026. In 10th, I have the Andretti driver of Marcus Ericsson. He really struggled last year. I think he's going to struggle somewhat this year, but I do think it's going to be better than last year and allow him to get a top 10 in the championship. And 9th, I have McLaren Racing's Christian Lundgaard. A lot of people are saying he could be top 5 in the championship this year, but to me, he's going to have to prove that for me to put him there. But I do think he'll be comfortably in the top 10, and I do think that he probably will get a win, but I just don't quite know his consistency level if it's there or not. We'll have to wait and see if his consistency level is there, because if not, this could be a partnership that you could go championship with. If his consistency is there, I just don't think his consistency is quite there yet. And 8th, I've gone with Will Power. Unfortunately, I think Power is going to struggle this year a bit, and I think this will probably be his last year at Penske. I think that's going to weigh on his shoulders, and I think it's really going to affect him, unfortunately. Number 7, I've gone with the Andretti driver of Kyle Kirkwood. I think it's going to be another Kirkwood season. He's going to be fast. He's going to be consistent. Maybe pick up that win. Maybe not. But I really just think this is going to be a Kyle Kirkwood type year. That's kind of just what I'm feeling with Kyle Kirkwood this year. And 6, I have the back-to-back Indy 500 winner, Joseph Newgarden. I kind of think it's just going to be another type Joseph year. He's going to win some races. He's going to crash some cars. He's going to have some bad races. But he's ultimately going to be consistent enough to be up there in the championship. I think it's just going to be 6th place this year, because we know Penske is losing Michael Cannon. Michael Cannon was with AJ Foyt, but with that partnership, he was essentially a Penske engineer, and he's the best engineer in IndyCar, and he left to go to Prema, which now he left Prema, and a rumor that he's going with Dale Coyne, who is the worst team in IndyCar. Maybe he'll bring Dale Coyne back up into the midfield, and I think Penske losing him is really going to affect their performance, honestly. In 5th place, I have the other McLaren driver of Pato O'Ward. I think O'Ward's going to do an award season. He's going to win races. He's going to be consistent. Going to get a top 5 in the championship, but not quite consistent enough to win the championship. That's kind of what I'm feeling from Pato O'Ward. 4th place, I have the 6-time IndyCar champion, Scott Dixon. He's going to have another Dixon type year. I'm saying that about every driver, but I really do think it's just going to be a Scott Dixon type year where he wins a few races, super consistent, but he ultimately, his consistency isn't high enough in the points to win the races. In 3rd place, I'm going with Alex Palou. I just don't think this is going to quite be a championship year for him. I don't know why, because 2024 was such a strange year for Alex. It was such a strange way to win a championship. I really just don't see him winning a championship next year for some reason. I really don't. In 2nd place, I have Scott McLaughlin. I think Scott McLaughlin for Penske, I think he's going to really obviously he's finishing 2nd. He's going to really be in the championship hunt, and I think he's going to take a huge leap in performance this year. I think he's just going to miss out on the title to Andretti's Colton Herta. So I have picked Colton Herta to win the championship. That might be dumb, but Colton Herta finished 2nd in the championship last year. And if you think about it, if he doesn't crash, or if they don't run out of fuel or have the problem in the Indy GP qualifying, he doesn't crash in the Indy 500. He had the dominant car in Detroit. Unfortunately, he lost the lead and then crashed. So if he didn't have that run of 3 poor races, I think he could have actually won the championship. And I think he's going to put it all together this year. I think Colton Herta is going to win the championship. So now, let's spitball some other predictions. I think one team by the end of the year is going to announce that they're going to be switching from Chevy to Honda. I don't know why. I think that one team will switch manufacturers, whether that's Honda to Chevy or Chevy to Honda. I just feel a team is going to switch manufacturers. I said 10 race winners earlier. Let's name them. I think Joseph Newgarden, Scott McLaughlin, Colton Herta, Alex Palou, Scott Dixon, Pato O'Ward. Wait, hold on. Let's just go by team. Hold on. Scratch that. This will be a lot easier if I go by team. So I think all 3 Penske drivers will. Scott McLaughlin, Joseph Newgarden, and Will Power. I think Colton Herta will. I think Kyle Kirkwood will. Then from Ganassi, I think Alex Palou, Scott Dixon. Then from McLaren, Pato O'Ward, and Christian Lundgaard. That is kind of the 4 big teams there. The 10th one is going to be a surprise winner, and I'm going with David Malukas. Those are my 10 race winners this year. Let's see if it plays out. Now, let's talk Indy 500 winner. Actually, Indy 500 pole sitter, I think it's going to be a Honda. I think Honda's going to bring it, and I am going to go with Colton Herta to get the Indy 500 pole. I don't know why. I'm just feeling a Herta pole. And for the win, I'm going Alex Palou. I think Alex Palou is going to win this year's Indianapolis 500, and he's going to be a 3-time champion and an Indy 500 winner at the end of the year. That's just what I'm feeling. So that's my IndyCar predictions for 2025. We'll see how poorly these age. Make sure you subscribe. Get on board with Forever Flame Racing Reviews. It's going to be a huge year for the channel, and you want to be subscribed because I'm going to be all over the racing platform this year. And see ya.